I think this team could, like you say, really challenge Gen G and possibly find themselves a spot at MSI. But let's see what happens as we get into the draft for game number 1 of this best of 5 between KT and Dplus Kia. Varus going to be banned away first, as per usual. And having a look here as far as, like, what was your take on the patch? How much do you think it's going to change things based on what we saw yesterday and what could be different here today?
We saw a lot more priority on Nautilus bans, for example. I do think that playing melee support feels a little bit better. Obviously, Imperial Mandate change removes Nami from the conversation, so Milio is a lot more powerful. And those are the big ones. But otherwise, ultimately, I think drafts are looking pretty similar. We haven't seen any crazy changes here. Cassiopeia priority was very low yesterday. I do not think that will be the case here with BDD in this series, as Karma and Bard are taken away here. So Smash loves playing his Caitlyn lanes, but maybe not here in this first game.
Yeah, and do they ban Orianna? They don't. So the Jarvan is going to be banned away. Dplus will pick Orianna, and then we'll have to see whether BDD is happy to take the Snake side of the matchup. Yeah. And we have seen it go either way. Both Showmaker, though, I believe, has lost on the Cassiopeia side of the matchup more recently.
Yeah, both Jarvan and Nocturne pairings are gone for the Orianna, the Nefiri.
And the Nefiri, yeah, that's a good point.
The stocks are a little down, actually. Like that combo that we saw kill Smash yesterday in Game 1, which almost and should have won Hanjin and Brielle in that Game 1, aren't available. And Showmaker's still going to pick up this Orianna and trusting his zoning power here.
Do you know what's really interesting? One of the best Orianna plays that we've seen is Lucid flashing with an Orianna ball into 4 people.
Yeah, it was a Trundle.
Yeah, it was. So Trundle hasn't been banned, and so theoretically they can still go for it.
I remember that exact play on the Dragon fight. It was iconic.
Yeah, it was a beautiful one. And
Rumble...
Trundle actually pairs pretty nicely with Rumble as well. They might even be able to pick it away. That'd be crazy.
Rumble does get played here over the Cassiopeia priority. Maybe BDD wants to just play Ryze. They want to play something completely different here. Try to play around the map.
I think, oh man, this is so dangerous though, because I feel like she would have loved to play Cassante in this game no matter what, right? It pairs up very, very well with a more comfortable front-to-back style with the Orianna.
Ooh.
Okay, Victor Orianna.
That very powerful for Fearless here in a best of 5 as well, to take that away from Showmaker, because he has been one of the best laning victors we've had here in round 2. So let's see what the answering jungler is going to be here now. It's not in terms of answering Cuz's pick, but what they're going to pair this Orianna with, because that is so much of Orianna's power budget in the early mid game, is who can set up those shockwaves. So all eyes on Lucid for this one. A lot of jungle picks gone here. Will he just go to the Xin here is the question I think everyone's wondering.
Xin, Vi, either of them are okay.
Said they're going to look for the bottom lane here, picking up the Ashe and probably Seraphine here for career, which has been a duo that's fallen in priority quite a lot. But because 2 picks have already gone over here for KT, this is a strong position for Dplus now, because you can't go for the Nautilus in Misfortune, for example. If you get Nautilus, 80 carry is going to get banned away, right, that want to play with him. If you don't pick the Nautilus is going to get banned in the second phase. So it puts KT Rolster in a quite uncomfortable position. They may just end up going
I think they have to. I think you have to lock Naut. But the thing is, Misfortune, Ziggs, and Mel, they're the ones that you want to pair alongside this, and you'll get one of them. So I actually don't mind this at all. They do want AD, because there's already Victor and Rumble in this game. I don't think Cuz is going to be able to do enough physical damage to even that one out comfortably. So maybe you ban Misfortune, you ban 80 carries instead, but
Misfortune is
it's kind of awkward.
I think Misfortune is definitely ideal. Because of the Ashe Seraphine, though, the Cassante you mentioned,
it's going to go.
So that makes a ton of sense. So Misfortune, I think, would be the first ban. And then what comes next is a little bit trickier, a little bit more difficult to finesse.
Yeah.
Pantheon, I think, is something that Cuz would love to play in this draft alongside the Vi. Like, Vi might still come through here for this draft. Absolutely could be a thing with the Nautilus setup they already have. So maybe just go MF and Vi, because there's otherwise not really a perfect 80 carry ban you can have here for this bottom 2v2.
I'm really intrigued as to what Dplus want to lock in for their next 2 picks as well. The Pantheon, like you were mentioning, actually could suit them as well. It's a decent ball carrier.
KT do have the first pick here post-second phase, because they're second pick in this draft. So that would give them the opportunity to pick the Vi first. So I think it's a very highly contested pick for both of the teams that have really strong single-target lockdown here so far. So maybe Dplus just ban the Vi. That's my expectation. The Scion ban is quite interesting here into the Rumble, actually. I don't expect that, but it works really well with Ashe.
Trundle
Okay, so the Trundle is taken away.
Oh, wait, so this means Shu wants to play on.
Looks like it, which makes a lot of sense for the matchup, and it works well for the
or Galio. Galio also works, and then, man, they will have such a juggernaut of a composition. Galio Orianna is actually kind of an interesting combination as well. Doesn't mean that they're relying on Ashe for physical damage, but I think that's fine.
They go for Xin instead of the Vi. I'm surprised by this, but it does give the Victor a lot more space to play through.
All right, Wukong a consideration here as well for Lucid.
I feel like this is really risky when you're going to have a 3v3 in the bottom lane. We don't know the 80 carry is just yet, or even if it's technically an 80 carry, but when the Wukong is much weaker than the Xin Zhao, and those early levels can be a point of weakness and a point of strength here for KT in these volatile matchups. So it's great for team fight, works really well with Seraphine, but at a heavy cost of the early game.
Well, they took all of the time possible to lock in this Wukong so they could figure out exactly what Xiu wants to play. Yorick still up and available. The Galio, like we were mentioning before, but the On, like that's what I was thinking, man. With the Trundle ban, it's what it made me feel they were going to go with.
The only pick that makes sense with the Trundle ban is historically been a good pick into Rumble.
Gives you engage.
Yeah, it works well with their comp because it follows up on all of the engage well, but starts fights and can set up the Wukong or Seraphine really well. It's a great, robust, incredibly strong scaling draft here for Dplus Kia. It's going to be Jhin I thought about, but I don't know about playing Jhin with a Rumble and is in only for frontline. He's going to do it. He popped off the last time these two teams met, and I believe in the second time around did have that Jhin game against Dplus Kia. He picked up POM. This is the matchup that you and I were talking about. Will Smash be able to deliver? He has really struggled as of late. In terms of our expectations of him, right? He was not meeting them. And aiming on the other side has been very consistent this season. It's really been cousin BDD's early game shenanigans that have held KT back a lot of these games. So we will see a lot of responsibility, I think, for the rest of the team to set aiming up for success here. I kind of have to say it, though, with the draft that Dplus got and how they play this and how slowly they made this composition work, I really like their draft. I think it's better. I think it has so much more stability and is very easy to pilot. And even from behind, can get a lot done with those late game ornaments.
That's what I'm thinking about as well. And I think that the more you can slow down the game, the better things are going to be, right? And I think that without having to be too frantic on the Rift is going to really help Dplus Kia here, because they can just slowly scale into a point of victory. And Jhin always irks me, just in general. We'll see how it is going to go here. There is a lot of damage availability on KT's side, so it may not be something they need to worry about. And there is a lot of pick potential for this composition. The mid game is what Dplus Kia really need to watch out for. KT might be able to capitalize. Let's go down to the Rift for game number 1 of this best of 5.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
My goodness. All right, Strategic Lowpark is kind of erupting here today. Showmaker gets some vision down. BDD not going to walk into the trap that Dplus tried to set in their little level 1 that they'd put together. A little bit cute. Is now going to be moving down towards this bottom side. And I do kind of want to talk about how this early game is going to go, because I do feel like Dplus's lanes are set up pretty well.
They are very strong. Obviously, this bottom lane in particular is the one we're really watching. Aiming and effort here. Notice that even though they were, with the level 1s, able to get to lane first.
Oh, great sidestep there from Smash. His effort takes a lot of damage.
So what I was getting at was they got to lane first to put a ward down in this brush, because the mid brush is out of the question. We're not even talking about the mid brush. The third brush on the right side, you'll be lucky to see that ever. And they already missed a hook and lose half of Effort's health bar. It's level 1, so get a lot of health back when he levels up, but still a very powerful lane here. He sacrificed a lot for this pick here, the Jhin at level 1. Just not able to do really anything. And Dplus here just not going to allow them to play the game or farm very many minions.
Yeah, this is the thing. They're going to hit that level 2. The beat drop does come out here from Korea, but does not quite find aiming. And I think that KT knows that they're going to be on the back foot here at the very beginning of this game, but it does give Cuz a potential angle to try and get down there. I think we're going to have to make sure that DK have as much vision down as possible to guarantee that they'll know what's going on. But already you can see about a 300 gold lead based on the fact that aiming hasn't been able to kill any minions yet.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, smash Mr. Cannon though as we get the zoom. Jonas Strong well aware of that one.
But now the wave's going to crash. He'll start to get some of this money. And you'll see that first overgrowth proc. Really just trying to apply as much pressure here as possible. Aiming gets most of that farm there, really well played. By him finds himself only 3 CS down in the end. They don't have the heal anymore, so that's a little bit scary, but he has Cleanse, which I think is a wisely chosen summoner spell into this composition with Seraphine and Ashe.
Yeah, certainly doesn't give you a lot of power in this early stage, but once level 6 is gained, you are going to feel a whole lot better being able to cleanse away so much of the CC that DK are going to be throwing out. Then Grenade going to connect onto Smash.
Because he has Barrier, Smash does, I don't think we're going to see too many Dredge line commitments here. I don't think we're going to see too much of a play around that unless the jungler is there. Just because the Barrier will always win out here for Smash in those longer fights, longer trades, especially with heal advantage that they're currently holding. And we do have Lucid coming down very early here as well at a pretty cool angle.
Yeah, looking for an angle towards Aiming here as he does get the Q off. Aiming going to be taken down to about 200 health. Might actually need to go home. And that could be relatively devastating because this wave is going to crash relatively quickly as the beat drop going to interrupt Aiming there as well, who's going to have to move even further away to try and escape this lane.
Yeah, this is really rough. It's a cannon wave coming through here as well, so they're going to give a plate if he leaves, and just wants to stay. He's got his potions. He's chugging through. I mean, they went for the boost.
Oh, this is an army. Like, you can't leave. There are so many minions.
I mean, I like how KT have set this lane up, right? Like, they at level 1 came over here first to get that one ward in the bush to have a fighting chance, right? Aiming went boot pot start so he can actually just chug these potions and survive. And he's already back up at, you know, over half health here because he actually had that start. Didn't even look at his items before this, but it ends up working out really well for him, and they will actually just be able to survive here and hit that wave. So it looked like it was about to be a disaster. Ends up being handled pretty well here for KT. They've just chosen this Jhin pick, but they know the consequences that come with it, right? They're like, okay, we're going to opt into this, but it'll be okay later. Just get through the early phase as much as possible. 10 CS deficit at the moment.
It is really interesting because you're right in that it will be okay later, but then later, it gets worse again. That's the interesting part. KT are really going to have to play around some windows here as Lucid thinks that he may have found one as well as he gets onto the gravity field, but able to use that Warrior Trickster to get over to the side and chunks out BDD's health bar.
That's huge because BDD and Showmaker just traded teleports. BDD was putting the pressure on Showmaker massively in the lane, but Showmaker's CS has been totally fine. It's been perfect. So he ends up, despite having, for the most of the first 5 minutes here, like 20% health left, it doesn't matter because it's not 0. He gets all the minions and then gets just one gank, and now he has control of the lane. He's going to have level 6 first, and that's where Orianna can really thrive. May even be able to break a plate here. Crazy turnaround. Lucid's made such an impact in this early game.
Yeah, and just being in the right place at the right time. Not even level 6 yet. Still, like you say, just figuring it out. And that does separate the good Wukongs from the great ones.
Yeah,
being able to still have an impact, even though the Cyclone is so important. And we'll still be able to get there. You can see on par with the levels of Cuz so far.
Cuz, like, he hasn't been anywhere, and he's not ahead in farm either. You know, he's just really been very low impact comparatively. The pathing here of Lucid in this game. Finally, out of jail is the Jhin.
Equalizer goes down, no searing charge. That means that Shiu does have to flash. Uses that to get himself out as the anchor is somehow still able to hit there. Aiming now moving on over as Cuz is discovered as well. Lucid coming in, still only level 5 as it's Effort taking the brunt of this damage. So this 3v3, not likely to be one that DK are going to be losing anytime soon as the Arcane Storm goes down onto Showmaker. Just trying to soften up this Orianna as he does get himself out of the way.
Put the wave closer to his turret with that ult exchange there.
Level 6 should belong to Lucid here as he takes this crab.
Yeah, this is really a pivotal moment here for Dplus. They want to get this first dragon. They have mid-prio. And this is, I don't think, a contest that's possible here for KT. Aiming doesn't even have his ultimate to help out from a distance, so I think this one should be going their way. Let's see what Cuz decides to do in the interim. He's looking for Showmaker.
Yeah, this is a cute little play, actually. Effort realizing that they can't actually win the fight in the river, and so Showmaker is going to be his target with no flash necessary. He is just able to walk it off, but it was a cute idea.
Yeah, I mean, Showmaker just ready for this. You know, Lucid has communicated everything there. Effort flashes for the play.
Ward from Showmaker as well. Sees the roam attempt from Perfect.
They're just so aware of every possibility. The flash engage from Effort means he loses his flash, right? He does have Hex Flash, there's that, but a lot of his power is gone now.
For real? What do we... He's just... He's really behind enemy lines right now, and he actually can be, as they have so much vision here towards his bottom side. Showmaker searching for BDD, but he is going to be able to go back without being interrupted. Still retains a pretty decent CS lead. Does BDD for now.
You know, we talked about career early on in his start here for Dplus, all the way back to Kespa Cup. We weren't really sure stylistically what type of support player he was going to be. Looks like he's kind of, you know, I think we could put the Lens Barrel archetype on him. He's going down that route. Like
I like it.
He's behind enemy lines. He makes these crazy plays, like 1 in a million chance plays, like on the Seraphine that he did just a few weeks ago. He is playing it here again. I love his aggression. I love his confidence that he's found here in second round and onward.
Man, I don't know how they're supposed to kill Xiu later. Is Yarrow going to get a flash out of BDD? Wow, he waited until the last possible second to press that button as Xiu now looking for perfect as the Ram does come on down, but the equalizer is good. That is going to negate that as Arrow going to connect. Sorry, the Anchor going to connect onto Smash, who does have to use the barrier. Now finally, Korea does come down, gets the beat drop onto Effort, but Aiming still looking to push them away. Smash was by himself for a little moment, did get punished, but they are going to be all right in the end.
Yeah, that was a very stressful moment. Smash, though, only has to expend his barrier ultimately, but with all of the sustain that this Seraphine's going to provide, it's still in a very strong position here, our Dplus and Career. And Cuz might actually get involved in something.
Hey, here we go.
He's coming down to the bottom lane. He's taking that roundabout path through the brush where they have the wave pushing. Ooh. Wants to set something up here. A little bit of a tricky setup, but Wukong also here.
Yep, Cuz going to show himself here as they do look to get themselves out. Good buffer there from Effort, but still going to get tagged by the volley as Lucid comes in, finds the Cyclone, and there should be first blood going down to DK as Effort falls. Able to draw that first one. Let's see whether KT are going to be able to stay safe underneath this turret because DK are looking to continue pushing and grab even more money out of this lane.
I mean, I hate to say it, and I have to say it directly, though. This game so far just feels like a massive jungle gap. Like, Lucid is doing everything everywhere, and Cuz is just trying to keep up. And this is the first time Cuz tries to make a proactive play. And it's first blood that goes over to Dplus because Lucid's already there. He's already expecting it.
And this has honestly been some of our biggest criticism of Lucid, has been sitting back and farming things up. And instead of getting involved, he's doing the exact opposite of that. It's like he listened to everyone's feedback and has been able to turn it around. And on the Wukong, no less. It's really impressive.
You know, you asked the question earlier, and I want to have the conversation about how do you kill Xiu in this game. Obviously, Victor does a lot of scaling damage and will, if given enough time, be able to cut through that health bar. But I think that KT are really expecting this early game to go a lot better. They have a lot more resources in their solo lanes in particular, but we just haven't seen that. We do see Effort here, but I don't think he really has much follow-up with the Jin down here is catching a wave.
Arrow going to connect here as the Encore comes down as well. They just want to kill him again. And down goes Effort one more time. Oh, dear.
Is looking like a bit of a disaster here as Aiming also cannot back. Effort, you're laning with the Jin.
Yeah.
Catching a wave. He can't do anything. Like, look, I see the idea here, but look at the bottom lane.
Well, in the meantime, you've now got Lucid looking for BDD as Showmaker went down relatively low, but this Wukong is absolutely everywhere as there's another Nimbus strike, and oh, not quite able to hit him as BDD with the sidestep. He has to be so careful as now Lucid getting burned by the equalizer and decides to go the other direction. That was a little bit cute, but he's still going to get punished. BDD, my God, able to walk it off.
Actually, incredible sidestep there from BDD. He was able to avoid the Q there and just walk out and baited them so hard. And then the roam of the Rumble from Perfect comes down. Equalizer is good, and he picks up a kill. So Soul Lane still not completely on fire here like the bottom lane is, but I'm still looking at an Ashe with 1,600 gold, the advantage over a Jin in a composition where the Jin really needs to be accelerated, I think, for them to be able to cut through that Ornn front line. And I still say advantage Dplus. Very cool play there from BDD, and the turnaround was fantastic, but I have serious issues with what happened before that with the Nautilus, but we're going to skip right ahead to this. Calling out no flash on the Orianna. I'm going to try to leave initially here, he says.
100.
Oh, my goodness. That sidestep honestly was the play winner.
And he's like, I'm going to live.
I like how even his character just turned around to watch what was going on. All right, back into live, and we do have a Drake being taken here by KT. It looks like DK are going to give this one up. Mountain does have a lot of health. They could have theoretically got into position, but they decide not to. They're going to give Shiu some time in this top lane, try and get some plate money, and already he's taken 3.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
I mean, there's been a lot of roams from Perfect to try to fix everything else on this map. Speaking of, he's camping mid lane right now.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to abandon this idea until Cuz gets here. The Ornn has the Kaenic Rookrun, so no longer just going to be bullied by the Rumble in any way. Already does decently well into the Rumble, but once this item is complete, kind of just weather the storm and not really care about interacting with him. As we do have the Herald in 2 minutes' time, that's going to be our next big objective to fight for here. And I just don't know if the Ghostblade Jhin right now is going to be enough unless KT maintain Prio, because you're just not going to be able to really ult anybody if Dplus have control. And with that control comes the Shockwave Wukong setup, the Cyclone, right, and the Ornament, or no, sorry, the Ornn Horn.
Yep.
If he is there on the fight, which he might not be with the setup in the lanes they have right now, where they have Shiu in the bottom lane. But there's just so much zone control that I think if you're not there first as KT, you're not there.
It's going to be really difficult. I do think that there is still going to be a window for KT. Ash does kind of want to hit 3 items to feel really happy about where the game is at. And obviously, you're going to be playing around utility largely before that does happen. And so even though he does have a gigantic gold lead at the moment, it's translated into, what, a Zeal in advantage over Aiming, whose first item buy in the Ghostblade is actually pretty strong for this stage of the game. So I don't mind KT's position right now, but it is still 2.7k, and DK still have a ludicrously well-scaling draft.
Yeah.
And so I still feel like the clock is against KT, but they might be able to find some windows to get themselves back into this game. And we've already seen Dplus kind of fumble a little bit here in this transition to the mid game.
Sure, and I will say that one of the things, and Smash turned it around a little bit yesterday, for sure. But one of the things that has been a plague for Dplus in these winning game states, even especially against top teams, is that Smash gets caught and dies. And when all your gold is on him, that can be a huge win condition for KT if they're able to punish him. So we'll see if that does come to pass, because they still have great engage with this Nautilus. It's not exactly what it could have been if they had picked the Vi, which I was championing for in this one. But Crescent Guard usage already been great for Cuz.
Oh, B-Drop going to connect here. There's the Encore, the arrow from the side as well. It's a decent buffer from Effort, because still in a lot of trouble. The Crescent Guard getting a bunch of work done, though, as Aiming looking to play some defense, and KT do make themselves scarce. They get themselves out of there. Will survive, as Smash should be able to interrupt Cuz here. All right, so Herald should be going over towards Dplus as a result of that play. No real kills, and it looks like KT are going to be sticking around. Honeyfruit going to be consumed by Cuz here at the same time. As Showmaker able to flash out of the way of Effort, who looks for the engage. Korea doesn't find the beat drop. It's perfect. Comes in with the equalizer. And that is not the right Lucid, but Showmaker is just burned in the back of the pit. What was he even doing there? Is she looking to come over? He's interrupted, not able to get the ram back as Lucid secures the Rift Herald. Perfect taking a lot of damage, is now Smash getting those shots in. Down goes the Rumble. Shiu still being frustrating. It's a great anchor from Effort. The flash out, not enough from the Ornn. As Cuz looking to get aggressive, is now Korea still able to do a lot, and Smash is still alive. Lucid gonna use the Rift Herald, and he might actually be able to stop Aiming from getting out of here. This could be an ace for Dplus.
It is, I think it
and
absolutely
oh
is.
dear, yep, they're also going to be able to kill the turret. How did they turn that around, especially after they lost their Orianna at the very beginning of the fight?
So this already right here was the problem we talked about so much, is how do you kill the Ornn? You can stop his ultimate. He's so late to the fight, by the way. Look at where he is right now on the minimap. If he was here at the beginning, I think this is a complete wash. Great flash from Showmaker initially, but now he's kind of behind enemy lines, is stuck there. And even though it's an interrupt here onto Shiu, once BDD is down, there is just not a lot of damage here. And BDD's like, well, we got to kill the carry. Like, BDD's trying to push on the right side while everyone else is just being zoned by an Ornn. BDD's the only person trying to pump damage at the Smash, and Smash does consistent damage. Jhin does not, as we all know, as you know more than anyone else. And
I didn't want to say anything, Will.
Like, I think the problem is if BDD just pushes up with the rest of his team and they focus the Ornn down faster, maybe there's like an exit strategy there where you're like, oh man, they got the Herald, this is rough, but like we can kite our way out. But with BDD trying to push the right side there, being completely split, I think it was a a target selection problem for KT overall, and Xiu he basically didn't even press buttons. He was like, I'm just kind of around you guys, and our Ashe is doing damage.
And that's the thing. Smash was just able to free hit that entire time. And so that advantage that the Ashe had, now even further exacerbated. It's 3.5k the lead, and now he's got 2.5 items. Like, this Ashe is ludicrously strong. Lucid now moving over. The equalizer comes down. Smash taking a lot of damage here as the beat drop connects onto Effort. KT trying to fight back, trying to find an angle, but that's a beautiful cyclone. Effort down once again as the shockwave lands onto Cuz and BDD. The Crescent Guard decent for Cuz, doesn't work out for the Victor as the train connects onto Perfect and Showmaker gets his revenge. Oh, Wolf, I think KT gonna have to start thinking about game 2.
Yeah, I don't think my 3-0 pred is coming through in this.
I don't think so.
I think that KT, with the last few sets of plays they've made, have decided this game is lost, and they have to go for Hail Marys. Like, all of these plays that we're seeing from Cuz in particular are just like, we got to send it and hope for the best. And his Crescent Guards have been really good. Save BDD, right, had that turnaround earlier, has had some really high value ones, and this one trying to split the fight so they can actually cut off the front line there, but they're just too far behind. And when you are behind and you make that Hail Mary play, like they're going to try here with Effort wrapping around, trying to catch Smash. Like, he's out of position, it looks like. We have the equalizer, but he's just able to run it off.
Oh, the sidestep from Career as well.
And if that hits Smash, I still don't think they kill him. But they have a better, more fighting chance. And then this Shockwave, or sorry, the Crescent Guard here from Cuz was beautiful, right? They get the kill, but it doesn't ultimately matter.
And
tried to get the kill, I say. He did not actually get the kill, but he was hoping that I was going to lead to the kill. And that, like, after you send it like that, you're like, okay, well, this game, we thought the game was over, we had to send it, now it's just over. It's just done.
Yeah.
That's what a Hail Mary is, right? And
now Korea remains at 100% kill contribution, hasn't died at all this game. And I think that he might be able to pick up a win on Seraphine now, Wolf. He's had some of the best plays. Obviously, Carrier did kind of do a bit of a number on the best Seraphine play that we've had so far this season. But Korea deserves a win on this champ. He was the original.
He was the original best Seraphine play of the season, okay?
Yeah.
Carrier's just the second one.
Yeah, and it was better. But, like, you know, he still did a good one. And
Carrier
he still lost the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, Carrier did win the game, and he didn't, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Carrier ended the game, actually, in that moment. But, yeah, I have so many thoughts about this game. I think the target selection on that Herald fight was really rough. I think Cuz, not on the same page with his teammates in a lot of ways, just did not, even though there were a lot of pressure points, did not find any value on Xin versus early game Wukong, when they're just so far behind now.
Oh, God, another Shockwave going to connect, aiming and Effort in so much trouble. It's a decent anchor from Effort, but he's still going to die. Still, Showmaker is in a bit of trouble. The curtains are being called as BDD out of the fight now. Xiu finding a great ram, and Cuz is going to fall down. Everyone else just kind of scattered. And DK, 4 alive compared to 3. They're looking for a Baron to try and put the nail in the coffin here. 9.5k the lead. And look at the champions!
Practically a Baron on spawn, by the way. You're starting it up at 2020 or so. If you kill the Orianna, that's fine. For Dplus, they're like, yeah, whatever. You didn't kill the Ashe. So as long as the Ashe is alive, you're not winning the game as KT. 5-0-6 is about to pick up IE on this back at 20 minutes with ornaments in tow.
Oh, man. Effort sidesteps the arrow and aiming gets hit by it.
Yeah. Now, aiming ends up killing Showmaker here because Perfect's in position for the punish. But who cares? You know, Xiu is still getting into the back line here. And Ashe is alive, so you got to walk away.
All right, well, it's now a 10,000 gold lead. I mean, Perfect does pick up a second item. It's all good and stuff, but I just don't know whether this is going to really work out here for KT. I think considering what you're going to be able to play in game number 2 is going to be a big one. What kind of adjustments you're going to make, because it really does feel like this one is basically done and dusted. Not a lot of Drakes, you know, taken so far, as we are relatively early into the game, and KT are able to get that mountain. So at least they don't have to worry about souls or anything like that. The problem is, like, oftentimes I'd be talking about slow down the game and then try and win later.
Not this time.
I just don't think you ever can. As Lucid, able to use the Warrior Trickster, and Cuz just goes in.
And I think
really wants to kill that decoy.
That statement that you just made there is why KT have been kind of sending it in a lot of these plays, because they know it doesn't get better, and they have to somehow get a miracle comeback fight as soon as possible.
The arrow just going to somehow hit onto Perfect, who's not exactly psyched about it, but he is going to be able to survive because he's under an inner turret in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he's not psyched, but he's not that worried about it either.
Yeah.
But he has to back away now because the team shows up, and that's going to be another inner down. They're trying to get this Ornn. Good luck with that.
Yeah, and he just kind of avoids everything, and now Lucid is going to try and catch an overextended Cuz, who does have to crescent guard, but won't have that to try and defend the base, as this inhibitor turret just going to melt. My goodness, Smash with 3 items, one of them upgraded, just does so much. Great buffer there from the Searing Charge out of Xiu, who does have to flash. Anchor barely missing, as Xiu looks for the ram. Will be able to get it onto Cuz here as the rest of DK moving over. They have to walk down the red carpet though, as Perfect makes it difficult. Still a flash out from Cuz here. Lucid gets over that wall and makes his way in. Cuz will be dying, but I don't know whether they'll be able to get too much more as the anchor is going to connect. Showmaker able to dash cannon his way out, and effort is just made of paper on this Nautilus.
Aftershock Nautilus, by the way.
Yeah. That was, I think it was after the Aftershock.
Yeah.
I think we were after Aftershock at that point.
He got his Merc treads now. Yeah.
Thanks, Wolf. There's the update. As Arrow once again onto Perfect. This one not working out at all. And Dplus just going to lay down their wallets onto KT here in game number 1. This is absolutely over. As Aiming just going to get shot to death here. Smash flashing forward, looking to just kill anyone willing to walk off the fountain. The flash away from PDD, just trying to stop Smash from building up an ungodly KDA.
Rectify the problem with some cool clutch attempt plays from Cuz, and Perfect was, honestly, Perfect had a great game. He made such an impact. Like his Rumble ults were really good. He equalized very well in some of those mid-game fights, but they were just so far behind. And
Yeah.
끝낼만한데 여기 탱커 볼래?
수영 바텀으로 와봐 형.
아, 오케이.
날만 하겠다.
아 오케이. 얘들아 공 돌거든?
얘네 풀 더 있다.
얘들아 공 5초.
럼블 너무.
얘들아 공 돌아. 오케이. 럼블 올게 럼블.
나부터 해봐.
럼블부터 럼블. 3보자.
해봐. 타워 해줄래? 금재야?
이대로.
타워 해봐 금재. 더.
다 깨고.
어려.
쌈바도 되긴 하.
봐줄 사람.
야 타워 얘. 오케이. 야 금재야.
애쉬 재밌어 보이네.
금재야.
애쉬 많이 재밌어 보이네.
재밌다. 나이스.